Welcome back to Cityline, everyone. With us for this segment is Communities for a Healthy Bay and their Executive Director, Melissa Malott. Melissa, welcome to the program.
Hi, Chris. Thanks so much for having us. We're really pleased to be here.
We're glad to have you here, Melissa. Can you give us an overview of Communities for a Healthy Bay and what it does in the Tacoma community?
Yes. Communities for a Healthy Bay started in 1990. We were founded by scientists to track the cleanup of contaminated sites in Tacoma and the tide flats and be the voice of the community in the cleanup of those sites. And over the past 3 decades, we have gotten a boat and we patrol for pollution. We advocate for better policies on the environment in Tacoma, and we educate the next generation of environmental stewards.
Wonderful. How do you keep track of pollution in the Bay and monitor the good work practices in and around the port?
Yeah, that's a really great question. So first of all, we have a boat, and twice a week we go out to the tide flats and we patrol. We take 2 to 4 hours twice a week, and we patrol for pollution and any actions that we see that might be causing pollution into the water. And additionally, many of the companies and also the city themselves have permits, and they have to report on those permits to that state. So we look at those permits and we make sure that we know what's going into the water and if someone's doing something illegal.
Thorough little patrol out there, which is wonderful.
Yeah.
Are there any projects in the city that you are currently working on?
Yes, there's a really big one in South Tacoma. There is a huge warehouse project that's proposed. It would be the size of 40 football fields right in South Tacoma. And warehouses have really bad impacts on people's health. And so South Tacoma is already dealing with environmental contamination and the health problems that come from that contamination. And so adding this on top of that would be really harmful. Right now, where we are in the process is that the city is looking at the environmental impacts or the public health impacts of that warehouse project. And they are saying right now that it won't have very many impacts, and we disagree. So we are working with residents in South Tacoma, we're working with the city, and we're trying to make it so that the city is fully examining the environmental impacts. So that's a really big thing that we're working on right now.
Wow. Now, what can we do as residents of Tacoma, and particularly those in South Tacoma, do to prevent this warehouse project from moving forward without looking more seriously at those environmental impacts?
Yeah, every time that there's a project like this, what we want to do is let people know that their voice matters. We want people to speak up, and we try to educate people about what's happening. So for this project, the deadline is April 21st, which by the time this plays is going to have been yesterday, but there will probably be more chances for the public to speak up. So I want everyone to go to our Facebook page and look for information about the South Tacoma Warehouse Project and what the city is doing and the next steps for people to engage on this.
There's a call to action for people to follow up on. Thank you so much for that, Melissa. Now, you recently launched a campaign for Tacoma. Can you tell us what it aims to do?
Yes, what this is called is the Tacoma Green New Deal. And I think people know about the New Deal and how it built a lot of infrastructure in our country and provided jobs and training for generations of people. So what we're looking at today is climate change. And there's so much opportunity for economic growth and infrastructure, and we have a role to play in that in Tacoma. And so the Tacoma Green New Deal really looks at a lot of the opportunities that come from dealing with climate change. Like, we need affordable housing that will provide people housing, but that's also sustainable so that it's cost effective for people and safe for them to live in as the climate is changing. We know that there's opportunities for jobs, and so there should be training for people in new industry and clean energy. And so the Tacoma Green New Deal is really looking at the economic opportunity as for the city as it deals with climate change. And there will be a lot of budget items in it, and it's actually developing right now. So if people think about the issues they work on and how climate change impacts that, get engaged with us and talk to us about that, and let's build a Tacoma Green New Deal that works for this city.
The Green New Deal sounds
Yeah.
great. Now, I've had to be very careful as we've been talking to keep calling you the right name. You used to be known as Citizens for a Healthy Bay. Why the name change?
I really appreciate this question. You know, back in 1990, when CHB was founded, the word citizens didn't have the same polarizing impact that it has today. And we weren't aware that it felt exclusive to some people who might not be citizens, who might be immigrants. And today, we see every day that there's people who care about the city and are strengthening it and fighting for a cleaner environment. And some of them are citizens and some of them are not. And we want us all to work together to make this community stronger. So we are Communities for a Healthy Bay. And we hope by having this name change, we're able to connect with and support all of the communities across Tacoma. That is so important. We know that environmental change and protection doesn't happen in a vacuum. It happens when we strengthen the community and we strengthen people and make sure that everyone is healthier. So that is really what we're all about. We are a community group first that happens to work on environmental issues. So that's where the name change comes from.
Thank you. Thank you for working to be better and more inclusive in our community. That's a great thing. And speaking of community, how do you involve the community and the youth in the work that you do?
Yeah, this is one of our really exciting projects. And I will say that I do not have an education background. I went to law school. I'm kind of a nerd. But I will say that the best days of my career have been when I've gotten to participate in the environmental justice camp for girls and see the impact of these camps and the exposure to environmental science and STEM-based education that comes with this. So what we do is, this was something that we partnered with Tacoma Urban League on originally, and we provide STEM-based or STEAM-based education using environmental experience to help girls gain access to science-based understanding and environmental issues. We'll do things like tide pooling, beach cleanups, poetry writing about how the girls are inspired by this. And they're really, really fun weekends, working with female scientists, and just, it's a really incredible experience for people. So we'll have some coming up this summer, and people can, stay in touch with us, get on our newsletter, and you'll hear about chances to sign up your kids.
It's wonderful. Now, in addition to those opportunities, let's say an average member of our community wants to get involved with your organization and support the work you do. How do they do that?
Yeah, there are tons of volunteer opportunities that we have, and we're expanding our volunteer opportunities. Chris, you're in Rotary, and this Friday is Earth Day, and we're having storm drain marking volunteer events, which is where, everyone will see the metal grates on the streets. And not everyone knows that when something gets dumped down there, or when rain washes, oil from the streets down that, it goes straight to the Puget Sound. Sometimes I see like cigarette butts along that, and that all gets washed straight into the sound, and it impacts our fish and shellfish and the creatures that live all around us. And so we want to mark those to make sure that people aren't dumping stuff down there. We also do beach cleanups. We also have a board and some volunteer committees that people can get involved with. And we always appreciate funding. So if people want to donate, just go to our website and click on donate, and it couldn't be easier. So there's tons of ways to get involved. I'll just add as well, signing up for a newsletter is really great, because that's how you learn about the ways to engage on public projects that you can comment on and get involved with. So if there's something you really care about and you want to know when you get to speak up on it, sign up for our newsletter and we'll let you know.
And it's very easy to sign up for. I know I get mine all the time.
Yep.
What can the larger community do to help keep Commencement Bay clean? That's such an important thing for us right now.
Yeah. Getting involved. There's stuff we can do in our personal lives, like don't dump stuff out your window, don't wash your car in the street. There's those basic things that we can do in our lives. But really, we need to focus on system change. So people need to be educated about the people that are going to be making decisions about the community. You know, get educated about what's happening in the community and vote true to your values. You know, support the organizations that are doing the work that you do, or the work that you care about, and get involved with them. We really have to change these systems. We can't just think someone else is going to do it. We can't just think it's going to happen on its own. We have to do something about it.
Great. Well, we also know that your annual fundraiser is coming up, and it has quite the theme. What do you have planned this year?
This is our first year doing a theme, and I'm very excited. So our Cheers for a Healthy Bay auction is coming up on Friday, May 20th. You can buy tickets online. We are going to sell out, so get to it soon. And it's a really wonderful event. We have a great reception with an oyster bar. We have an amazing silent auction, and the silent auction will actually be virtual, so people can look at it the week leading up to May 20th. And then the live auction is really fun. John Curley is our auctioneer, and this year we have a theme. It's Under the Sea. So I'm asking that people come, that they fit true to the theme, whether it's wearing colors that are inspired by the sea, or all the way to wearing a full-blown costume. I've had 2 years to think about this, and I have made myself a huge sea slug costume. And so I'm hoping that this event is just joyful and people coming together to celebrate these amazing natural resources around us, to celebrate the sea and celebrate all the people supporting this work. So I hope people join us.
I hope that picture of you in the sea slug costume makes the newsletter, because that will be something worth reading about.
I have to think about that.
Melissa, thank you so much for being here today and helping us learn more about Communities for a Healthy Bay. It's been a joy having you here.
It's a joy to be here. Thank you so much.
Thank you again, Melissa. And now we're going to take a quick break and be right back with more Cityline.